everyone, it's Jo Carter here. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be how Harry Potter characters tell you to relax. This is going to be a list of 8 things that you can do to relax, especially in the climate such as this one, and which Harry Potter characters I think would be giving you this message. And we've got a guest today. Before I get into the ways to relax, I'm going to actually talk about how I came up with these ideas and this video, because I actually had my own spiral about a week ago because of all the COVID-19 stuff. I'll pop a timestamp up here, so if people just want to skip straight to the tips, then they can do that. But for now, I'll explain sort of how I come up with this and what was going on. I'm Australian. On Sunday night last week, so it's Sunday the 29th that I'm filming this, so a week earlier on that Sunday night, we were watching a news broadcast because they were talking about possibly shutting down everything but non-essential services after our parliament had another cabinet meeting at about 9 o'clock last night. They come out again and said it's only going to be clubs, pubs, restaurants, cinemas, sort of entertainment, food venues that were going to be closing. They can still operate under takeaway, but a lot of people lost their job from that event, and that kind of started me feeling really bad and spiraling into sort of the general anxiety of things. Part of the reason, I think, after I'd sort of delved into it and thought about it a couple of days, was that 4 years ago I used to actually have my full-time income coming from a club, so I think it really hit me hard that I could have been in that position. And even though the government is putting in place things to help people, and if you can't make your mortgage, you can ring up your bank and they'll give you like a way out, or whatever it is they'll help offer, because obviously this is not anybody's fault that this is happening. It still would have been a really scary situation, and I'm just really thankful at the moment to still have a job. Then fast forward to Monday morning, where I was at work and everybody was just talking about it, and so I'm an administration manager and I'm in charge of getting a lot of supplies for parts of the business, but also some other people are in charge of that, but I'm the one that people seem to really come to, and everybody was just at me looking for hand sanitizer and wipes and like disinfectant and all this kind of stuff so that they could feel safe while we go on, which is completely understandable. But I'd sort of already said to multiple people, like, I can give you this, but we're running low on sanitizer, and it was just such a stressful day. And then having to put in like measures in place to help protect our company and to let our customers know that what we're doing to be safe, it was just a lot. And then I sort of came home Monday night and I was feeling really low and really down, and I didn't really know why, aside from just general stress. And then that continued on to Tuesday, and then Tuesday night I was like, oh my god, like I was probably as unhealthy as my mental state has been in a while, which is still, like, we had a meeting on Tuesday at work with all of us managers, and my boss went around and said, everybody talk about out of 10 how you're feeling. And for someone who's normally like a 9 or a 10, most days I was actually feeling like a 6. So even though that's not quite as bad as someone who's down like below past 5, it was still quite a severe drop in mental state for me. Come Tuesday night, I was still kind of just aimlessly wandering around at home, not really doing anything, and that was kind of sending me down even further. And I was on social media, hey bud, looking up all the coronavirus stuff and kind of going into the hype as well. And then I ended up finally talking to my partner at like 10:30 at night and having a bit of a cry and working out that I'm not scared that I'm gonna get sick of it. I'm more scared that life as we know it is changing, and hopefully once it all passes, we'll bounce back really quick. But I think it's the unknown that I don't like. Like, me and my partner are like planning things, like we're engaged, we're like gonna start booking our wedding stuff in the next couple of months, and that's, who knows. And I just, it's just the uncertainty of it, and I just got into such a funk where I wasn't able to really think about getting myself out of it. I didn't recognize the signs of spiraling and didn't realize what was happening. So now that I have, I'm a lot better. Come Wednesday night, I did a lot more self-care things. We had a phone conversation, a video chat conversation with all my siblings and my parents, and we actually had dinner together over video, which was really lovely. And then I made sure I concentrated on other things Wednesday onwards, and I've like completely picked up and I'm back at probably like a 9 again, so that's fantastic. And now I'm going to explain to you the ways that I did that, and hopefully this can help someone else feeling that way and bring it in with a bit of a Harry Potter spin on it. Do you like my mug? It says Joel Tion, and it's actually spelt wrong because you're not supposed to have the A, I think, in Joel Tion, but they're making a play on words to be T. My partner got these for Christmas off his cousin Alex, so they're really cute. Number 1, Luna's advice would be recognize whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, and then take some steps to look after yourself. So one of the biggest reasons I think I didn't realize is that I'm an introvert, and having to deal with people in a more intense way and more stressed out people on a daily basis really took it out of me. So just recognizing that, I think, really helps. Taking a step back and just going like, hang on, I wasn't going for walks at lunch to have a break, so I started doing that. So just recognize what type you are, whether you need people to feel okay or whether you need people to go away for a bit to feel okay. Number 2, Hermione says to read a good book. And if you're not able to read fantasy like you normally would, maybe you should read something a bit different with some fluff or some romance to distract you from what's going on in the world. I was actually reading a George R.R. Martin book. I was reading part 1 of the 3rd book, which is A Storm of Swords, part 1, Steel and Snow. And even though I was really enjoying it, the war and intensity and horrificness sometimes of those books made it really sort of added onto it. I don't think it was solely the book that was responsible, but it just added to the feeling, and I decided to put that down. I still haven't picked it back up because I think it's a bit of a reminder of how I felt in that state. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be another couple books before I feel confident to pick it up again, but I definitely will be because I was really enjoying it and it was really frustrating me. Instead, I resumed reading a non-fiction book called Wild Women that was quite inspiring actually, because even though some of the women were a bit bad and morally grey and sometimes downright mean, they were all very courageous, which definitely helped. Number 3, Ginny says write in a journal, but make sure it doesn't talk back. So as we know, Ginny in the 2nd book wrote in a journal that ended up being a Horcrux that Voldemort was talking to her through, which wasn't good because that actually made it worse. But get a plain old notebook and write out your feelings. Sometimes it can be hard if you're in the absolute throes of an attack or really bad feelings. It can be hard to be coherent in what you're writing, but I think the more you practice this on a daily basis and even try and get a few lines down of what you're feeling, it can actually help to decode what is wrong and get to the root of the problem. And it's also just really cathartic, and doing it regularly I think can also help. Doing it at the spur of the moment can too, but doing it regularly can help as well to get you used to digesting your feelings and getting them out there. Also, if you don't feel like handwriting is quick enough, try typing it out, because then you can just spit your thoughts out a lot quicker than most people can writing, and that definitely helps me when I'm just feeling too bad even to write in a journal with my hand and a pen. I will type things out and it'll just get out so much quicker. Number 4, Harry says talk to a trusted family member like a godfather, Sirius Black, or found family members like Ron, Hermione, or the Weasleys. This one is probably one of the most helpful ones, but it can be hard if you don't have anybody available to talk to at the moment, or you don't feel like you can. But if you do have someone that you trust, whether it is a family member, a friend, or even a counselling service, if you're not able to pay for them, a lot of workplaces actually offer those services for free, so that you get free counselling service, because obviously feelings affect your work and people, like workplaces, don't want you to be affected. So check out all those things, release them out. I actually think that was key to me realizing how bad I was feeling and to working it out and taking the steps to get myself better, is that I actually let my partner in on how I was feeling and how upset I was, and that just telling someone released all those negative feelings in the form of tears and enabled me to properly address and take the steps. Because sometimes when you're stuck in a funk by yourself, it can be hard to put in place these other measures like journaling or reading a book or something like that. It can be hard if you don't actually admit it to someone, so that's definitely a great tip. Number 5, Ron says seek only the reputable facts. So just like when Ron spent a lot of time in the 3rd book researching Buckbeak's case, if you're feeling well enough to research what's going on, whether it's been coronavirus or something else, look for the hard facts, ignore the Facebook hype, ignore the media hype. Go to government websites, go to trusted sources, read between the lines. Quite often there'll be a sensationalized heading that will panic you more than anything else. And if you just read it a bit and go and find the actual updates, then it can make it so much better because it brings it back down to a more manageable level. If you're not able to look at updates, so I actually stopped looking at news updates. I stopped going on Instagram and seeing how the rest of the world was faring, and I just waited until I got to work the next day and said, hey guys, any major updates? There was still stuff to talk about, but most of the time they were like, nah, nothing's changed. And then I've just saved myself all that stress by buying into the hype and fear of the media. Number 6, Fred and George said seek some comic relief. Don't be afraid to make jokes about this situation. At work, we've found the toilet paper scenario hilarious while also doing stuff about it. Don't feel guilty if you have a laugh at a joke, even if it may be in poor taste, because it just completely releases out the feelings. And some people have different humor levels than other people, but don't be afraid to seek those forms. Or if you can't even look at jokes related to this, put on a funny sitcom. Big Bang, Friends, something that you know, a comedy movie that will make you feel, just make you laugh again, because even if it only distracts you from a little bit, you will feel lighter. Number 7, Neville says, don't forget to rise above the expectations that you put on yourself. So if you just think, oh, I'm just a nervous person, I'm just a panicker, I've just got anxiety, there's nothing I can do about it. No, come on. Whether you've got these conditions or not, you can find some methods that can help you overcome it. Don't just accept your state of mind, accept what you're going through, but then try and learn things to overcome it. Google different ways, watch videos like this, try things out. Don't expect them to work straight away, but just try to do something that will help. I found for me it actually really helped to be able to do a puzzle while I was watching TV, because my mind was being engaged by the telly, but it was also something that was really like brain intensive, like doing a puzzle, but I mean like doing Sudoku or something like that. Doing the puzzle was something that really took my mind off what my problems were and made me excited to keep going and to keep doing it. Number 8, Professor Tredawnley, which I can't say it, says to practice meditation. So if you've never meditated before, it might actually feel a bit silly, but trust me, after some practice, it can really help. You can try the Calm app, but if you don't want to pay for it, YouTube. There are great people on there that help you relax. And something that I've also been doing lately is when I'm going to sleep, I have been turning on wave sounds or just relaxing instrumental music to help my brain absorb something else and not keep going around and around and around in circles. Now, I do have a quick trick for people who want to be able to turn off their phone halfway through the YouTube video. So what you want to do is go to your settings. If you're on an iPhone, I don't know if this will work on a Samsung, but on an iPhone, go to your settings, change your phone to low power mode so that it will then shut off in 30 seconds. Test this though, sit and watch it and make the screen go dark. Then you want to go to your screen time and you want to set a limit on YouTube to about an hour or however long you think it will take you to go to sleep. You may have to set it a bit longer depending on whether you've used YouTube that night or not, but it does reset after 12 p.m. so depending on how late you're going to bed. Then if you want to test it, you can. If your phone's on low power mode and you already have tested that it's going to turn your screen blank in 30 seconds, it will do that when it's reached the screen time on your YouTube. If you want to test it, set the screen time, allow it to like 1 minute, go to your video, play it for 1 minute. It'll then say to you, oh, you're only allowed 1 minute. This is stopping now. After the allotted time, it will then shut it off and then your screen will go dark after 30 seconds and your phone is locked and you're not watching YouTube for the next 10 hours. Those are my top tips. I think we ended up with 8, maybe 9 because of that extra YouTube one, but I really thought it was a good way to share with people how you can have free music to listen to or meditation without having to worry about switching your phone off at a certain time. I really hope these tips help. If you've got any more, leave them down below. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you. Bye. And stay safe. Stay safe. Bye.